A week or two ago, Intel launched their 9900K along with a number of other 9th generation CPUs. It was met with an interesting response, and if you've looked at any of the reviews so far, including my comparison, and thought, who's that chip really for? Well, that's what this video is kind of here to talk about. It is more a conversation, so I would love to hear your thoughts as we go in the comments down below, but generally speaking, we're going to be talking about obviously its gaming side, its productivity side, and the bit in between. Now, I should clarify right at the start that this is definitely the hands down fastest mainstream desktop CPU that you can buy. It is incredibly fast, obviously 8 cores and 16 threads with an all-core boost of 4.8 to 4.9 GHz. It is incredibly impressive. With that said though, its price is also kind of jaw-dropping too, around about £600 at the time of filming. Now of course, if this was selling for about £400, then it would make a lot of sense and we wouldn't be, having this discussion because it would fit into the market slot that is currently semi-open, but since it's not, we are. Now of course, on the gaming side of things, if you want the best of the best CPU for gaming, then technically speaking, this is it. I say technically because the 97 and 9600Ks and even the 8700K are still plenty good, and especially with a slight overclock, which in my experience this one couldn't handle that much over its standard, kind of all-core boost clock, although this is technically an engineering sample, so take that with a grain of salt. But with those chips you can push them a little bit further and get very similar, if not identical FPS from those than this one, so there's really not much of a difference. If you really want to go and spend the £600 on the CPU just to say you have the fastest gaming CPU out there, then sure, but the majority of gamers aren't those people. Even if you're buying that sort of high-end i7 or now i9 system, generally speaking, you don't go just crazy with the amount of money. You want to buy something that is the most sort of future-proof, but also a good value of money at the time. Of course, if you're on the productivity side of things, someone like me, I think this is kind of where they're after. I currently use a Ryzen 1700X myself, overclocked to 3.8 GHz, and obviously I play games, but I also edit videos, and that is kind of the main workload for a CPU like this one. Of course, once games do start optimizing for more cores, then we may start to see a slight shift in the kind of mainstream number of cores, because right now it's definitely still at 4, but generally speaking, the appeal of having extra cores in your system is being able to do extra stuff or more CPU intensive things like video editing, like 3D modeling, or even programming and stuff like that as well. But here's the thing, right? If you're a content creator, if you're a video editor, especially for a company, then if you're looking for the best value of money, this isn't it. This actually gets nowhere near it. Ryzen 2700X right now, especially at that sort of price point, is a significantly better purchase. Even just as an off-the-shelf PC, that is a significantly better value of money for the performance you're gonna get. And if you really care, like if you're in a business and you're expensing this and you just need the best system for a rough sort of price point, then you may as well go with something like a Threadripper or even a Xeon Workstation chip, as you'll have a bit of extra reliability, at least on the Xeon Workstation side, because extra warranties and stuff, but then also you'll have more cores and much faster rendering, and you don't have to care about gaming performance. Now, as I said, if you're someone like me who sits very firmly in between where I game and do content production and stuff like that, then in theory this is the best case for me, but at that price it really makes no sense. I'm not really willing to spend double my money for only 15% performance improvements, and if I was willing to spend that sort of £600 on a CPU, then I'd probably go and buy the Threadripper 2950X, because that's only, what, 15-20% more expensive, but I would get anywhere between 50 and 80% faster performance in things like Premiere for rendering. So I just don't understand where this sits. If you're considering the sort of, I guess, above average gamer, someone who's willing to spend £1,500 to £2,000 on a gaming PC and they're speccing out a system right now, System A is a 9900K with a 2080 in it, because that's roughly what you'd be getting for that sort of price point with that CPU. And then on System B, you have a Ryzen 2700X, but because you've saved £300, if not more, on your CPU and a little bit on your motherboard, you probably have enough money to go buy one of the cheaper 2080 Ti's, which is a significant performance improvement if you're thinking about, you know, just gaming. And even in productivity stuff, while you may take a bit of a hit in the CPU specific stuff, anything that is GPU accelerated, again, you're going to get significantly better performance there. For me, as I said, this kind of all hinges on the price point. If it was a good bit lower, you know, that sort of £400 mark, then it would make a lot more sense. I'd be a lot happier to recommend it as an impressive chip that, you know, it outperforms Ryzen and obviously outprices Ryzen, but, you know, it generally does a pretty good job. But with this £600 mark, and even I think I've seen it for 530 in the US, that's still just way too high for the performance that you get. With that said though, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Is this a CPU that you're interested in getting? Is this something that you think, you know, that's completely stupid, why would anyone buy that? Is, you know, am I missing something here that it kind of would help me understand why this is a great value or anything like that? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Of course, you can continue this conversation in the Discord. There's a link in the description if you want to hang out and chat there. Of course, there are plenty of other links in the description down there too. There's Patreon if you want to support me directly and keep me making these videos on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday basis. Of course, you can check out the Amazon and TechteamGB affiliate links, which massively help me out. They don't cost you anything, but as I said, I genuinely thank anyone who uses them. And there's a whole load of other stuff, including private internet access, which is a great and cheap VPN that you can get a fairly decent discount off, and also massively support me, so feel free to take a look at that down there too. You can also check out the subscribe button, of course, if you're new to the channel, with some notifications if you fancy. There's plenty of other videos over there for you, and otherwise, thanks for watching. As I said, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below where you think this CPU sits. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all in the next video.